So what's going on, guys? I'm Black. What's amazing? Welcome back to another video on the channel. I've been away for the past week or so I've got a bit of catching up to do on news that has been put out over the past week or so. I'm going to give you my opinion on it, and today we're going to be talking about DLC 1, which will be the third zombies map in Black Ops 6 Zombies, potentially coming in December, definitely coming this year. That's been officially confirmed by Treyarch themselves, along with a couple of weeks as well. One that could potentially be the name for the map, or tell us its location, and Grief might be returning.
And speaking of things to come, Treyarch team, we've obviously got two awesome maps at launch, but what can you tell us, you know, what do you got in store for us and beyond that on the live seasons?
So what I could say is that the next map is going to be coming by the end of this year.
Oh!
And that is going to be
round-based zombies map.
really setting the tone for how all in round-based we are this year.
Yeah, that's quite significant. I mean, you're just so many options for ways to be able to play. That has to feel pretty good for you guys and the team to be able to deliver so much like this.
It feels amazing.
Yeah, I'm personally I think we're all just really stoked about all the maps that we're going to come with. Everything just helps kind of tell the story and just pair all the maps themselves pair with the story we're trying to tell. So yeah, we're all really excited.
So excited about it.
Yeah, I think maybe come to a head because you might have mentioned a third map today, Kevin.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
Okay.
And my chat were like, wait, did he say that?
Yeah, we said it. Before the end of the year.
What did you say? There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
before the end of the year, we'll be getting our third map.
This is news to me. I did not know this.
We broke news on the COD pod. Heard it here first.
It keeps happening.
Also
my
on the
gosh.
next broadcast.
I
So
think,
Wow.
Over the next year, when we say we're all in on round-based zombies, I think you're gonna feel that.
So as you just heard from those two clips, one was an interview between the director of Zombies, Kevin Drew, and the other one was from a podcast that involved Mr. Jolly JD, but it was revealed that the next map, the third one, will be coming at the end of this year, which Kevin said will set the tone for how all in for round-based this year they are going. And as for what the map could be, well, the two base maps are Terminus and Liberty Falls, and according to a leaker called Forward2, he tweeted out, the term Janus Towers was added to the stream-rich present strings. Funnily enough, this isn't the first time I was told about this phrase. Wonder what it means. It really could mean anything, but potentially Janus Towers may be the name for DLC 1. You have to bear in mind that Treyarch would have been making DLC 1 or the third Zombies map in BO6 for a long time now, maybe even alongside Terminus and Liberty Falls. To be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised if DLC 1 is finished already. Treyarch could release it on day 1 alongside Terminus and Liberty Falls, but are just saving it for DLC 1. So the term Janus Towers in the Steam strings could be anything. On Liberty Falls we have these towers in the background, so I was thinking perhaps it could just relate to them, although from what we know these towers aren't accessible in Liberty Falls. Perhaps for whatever reason they're still referenced separately in these strings, even though they relate to that map. Or Janus Towers is the name of DLC 1. There has to be a reason if this leak is correct, because bear in mind, leaks can be false. I don't know what's true and what isn't. This could be totally made up, but if this Janus Towers is a reference to DLC 1, then that could give us an idea of what we will be seeing, and it would make sense anyway. We don't know Richtofen's situation right now. We saw him disappear in the Liberty Falls intro cutscene when Samantha seemed to grab hold of him. We know our Requiem characters, Weaver, Gray, Strauss, well, not Strauss, Meyer, who was replacing him, and Carver are hunting Richtofen down. They're going to track down his location and try to kill him. Potentially Richtofen could be held up somewhere, maybe in Janus Towers, or this phrase has no connection at all to DLC 1 and relates to something else. But whatever it is, it's clearly zombies related. All this leaker said about it is that this was listed in the BO1 status strings on Steam and was then deleted 30 minutes later. He also said the same thing about Grief, which was also found in these same strings. Right now, all we've been told is Treyarch are 100% focusing on round-based, which would mean we're not getting any other third modes such as Grief or Turned, but according to this leaker, Grief might be returning in BO6. But getting back to what we do know, what is confirmed about DLC 1, well, because with us having two zombies maps on day 1 already, Terminus and Liberty Falls, and then us getting the third round-based zombies map not even a couple of months later, by this year, is proof that Treyarch are going all in this year on round-based, whereas compared to last year in Modern Warfare 3, round-based wasn't even a thing, it didn't exist. We had this open world Warzone zombies mode. I don't even know how to describe it. The year before that in Vanguard, we didn't have round-based at the beginning. We did end up getting it later on with Shinonuma and the Archon, but for the most part, round-based didn't exist in Vanguard zombies, and by the time it did, the game was dead. And in Cold War, round-based was a thing, but there came a certain point about halfway through that game's life cycle where it felt like it was not getting neglected a bit, but it wasn't as important to Treyarch as it normally would have been because of the introduction of Outbreak. Outbreak basically took away from round-based zombies because we only had 3 DLC maps in that game for round-based, whereas normally we'd get 4. That's just how it's been in every game before that. But because Outbreak was introduced, we ended up getting 1 less round-based zombies map because of it. That took away Treyarch's focus. However, this year it's been made clear by everyone at Treyarch that the only thing they are fully focusing on this year is round-based. Not Outbreak, that won't exist. There is no third mode such as Grief or Turned. There is no open world zombies like we have in Modern Warfare 3. It is purely round-based, and to show their dedication towards that, the 3rd map will be coming this year, presumably in December, and considering the game is coming out in October, you would think probably late December makes the most sense, more towards Christmas time, but for all we know it could be the beginning of December, 1st, the 2nd, the 10th, something like that, which would mean if the game comes out on October the 25th, just over a month after, maybe a month and a half, we will be getting a brand new zombies map. We will only have to wait just over a month until we get the next one. I was intrigued to find out, well, okay, when did DLC 1 for all of the other games release? For BO1 zombies, BO2, BO3, etc. And well, as I was looking up, someone over on Twitter did it for me. We've only ever had one other zombies map that's released in December, and that was in Dead of the Night for Black Ops 4. Now, that map was a total failure. I don't think it had anything to do with its release date and it coming out so close to the release of BO4, but maybe it did, we'll get into that. However, for Black Ops 1, DLC 1 released in February, that was Ascension, the beginning of that month, and back then Call of Duty's released in November, so a month later, meaning if it released in October, about January would probably be right. Anyway, for Black Ops 2 Zombies, DLC 1 was Die Rise, which came out on January the 29th, so basically the same as Ascension, a couple of days out. For Black Ops 3 Zombies, Die Rise and Draka released on February the 2nd, so all 3 of those first games, DLC 1 released within days of one another, the end of January, the beginning of February. But then for Black Ops 4 Zombies, DLC 1 Dead of the Night came out mid-December. Black Ops 4 released on October the 12th compared to all of the other games before it coming out in November, which could explain the earlier release date. But when you also take into consideration the amount of zombies maps we had on day 1 for Black Ops 4, 4 maps, Blood of the Dead, Classified, Voyage of Despair, and 9. All of those maps to play in October, and then just a month and a half later, we get another one. That was 5 zombies maps within the space of less than 2 months. It was a lot. And taking my mind back now, it did feel like Dead of the Night released really early on. Maybe it was because we just weren't expecting it. I thought it would have come out in line with all of the others, late January, early February, but it released a month and a half earlier than it normally would have, and the map 100% failed. I'm not putting that down to its release date. I think it was more to do with just Treyarch's marketing. They didn't market this map at all for whatever reason. I'm so confused by it still to this day. Could it have been something to do with them just releasing it so early on? They were still pushing BO4's base game and totally neglected DLC 1. I couldn't say for sure, but it was a really strange situation. And then for the next game, Black Ops Cold War, DLC 1, which was Firebase C, released on February the 4th, the latest to this date, which when you consider Black Ops Cold War Zombies only had 1 map on day 1, D Machine, it meant we had to wait 4 months, and I can tell you this was a struggle to get DLC 1, the second ever Zombies map for Cold War. It was way too long. After about a month of playing D Machine, I was ready for the next map. There wasn't that much to do in it. So to learn that we are now getting DLC 1 for Black Ops 6 Zombies in December, we don't know when, it could be early on, it could be late, I think is good news because unlike Black Ops 4, we're not getting 4 zombies maps to play straight away, we're just getting the 2. The reception of Liberty Falls and Terminus so far has been controversial to say the least. People seem to be loving Terminus, but are very skeptical about Liberty Falls, so we might end up only having 1 good zombies map to play on day 1, which means the release date of DLC 1 being in December is good. It means we won't have to wait long to get the next zombies map. I am also thinking, with us getting an earlier release date then, does that leave the possibility for more DLC maps instead of the standard 4, maybe 5 this time around? I doubt it. We did get some information from a pretty credible leaker that said this year we were getting 6 zombies maps. I'm assuming that includes the 2 base maps, which would mean 4 DLCs. So yeah, all pretty standard stuff besides from the relatively early release date. I'm excited for that because if the base maps don't satisfy people for whatever reason, well, we don't have long to wait for the next one. And the way that Kevin Drew spoke about it, about how them releasing this map within this year means they're going full on with round based, it's good to know that they're not going to get distracted by something else like Outbreak later on down the line. So yeah, there we go. A quick one, but exciting information. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.